Okay, so now I'm going to put this back together again, which is pretty simple. There is a bunch of screws. Each one has its own little insulator on it that go through the board. So let's flip that bad boy over. And the board lines up pretty easy. So on this front screw right here, there's a little spreader, I guess you could call it, that goes right there. I guess they thought that you needed a little bit more contact area between the two balance connectors, which is probably not a bad idea. There is one screw right down there that's kind of hidden, and I believe what that does is so this charger has a feature in it where you can charge from one side and discharge from the other side to charge the other side. So we'll call this side A and this side B. You can be discharging over here and passing all that current over to side B to charge those batteries. Or you can do it from this side to this side. I've never used that function because I have been testing all those cells, and I really needed each channel to work separately from each other. So now that I get those two screws snug down, everything else is going to line up, and there's a variety of places on the board where screws go. They go where all the MOSFETs are, which is a really thoughtful and good idea. So let me get those guys in there real quick, and then I will show you why it's so thoughtful. And each one of these screws has an insulator underneath it, so that even though it's going into that heatsink behind it, none of them can conduct current to anything, which is a good idea. Oops, I'm in my own way. Alright, as soon as I get these screws all tightened, I will show you what I'm talking about here and the details of the board. Alright, so now that those are in there, so this is the channel B side. So you can see there's two screws right there. Well, right here and right there and right there are MOSFETs. So those screws are applying clamping pressure between the board and the MOSFETs and the heatsink, right at the MOSFETs. Up here's the same thing. So here's a screw, here's a MOSFET, here's a MOSFET again. Very, very close to where the MOSFETs are for good clamping pressure. This side of the board is the same way. If I have a complaint about this thing so far, and here are the large caps. None of them are secured like how the coils are with thermal glue. So, after a while, I suppose it's probably never going to be a problem because this thing will never see like jarring forces. But I suppose after a while, that vibration will cause those capacitor legs to break off slowly. So that's video 2 or video 3, I guess, of putting the board back down.